Hi, this is a quick video of expectations for projects for Graphic Design 1. I'm creating this in the summer of 2021, and this is to be a checklist of what are the projects that we did and what's required for the class. So in Graphics 1, we learn how to use Photoshop to combine text and image according to specifications to meet the demands of a client, a particular client. So the projects are structured along specific lines of creating a postage stamp for the U.S. government, a poster for a local event with a time and a place, a CD jewel case for a record label for a major artist. That would include the front, inside the front and the back, and a book cover for a major publisher. So let's take a look at these projects. Now, inside of each of the projects, we are doing workups and variations, collecting images and creating a template. And we proceeded as a group first, with everyone learning to do the project together. And in the fall of 2020, we chose Aretha Franklin, who fits the guidelines for what's acceptable to the U.S. Postal Service. Someone needs to be passed away before they can be honored in a stamp, and they should be of national importance. Aretha fits those criteria nicely, and so the entire group did an Aretha. Although you chose your own images, we learned how to take type and template it, and then fit the images into the template, and create a block of 4 at fairly high resolution. This document is 50 inches wide, 40 inches tall. Okay. And in this particular folder, you can see some of the background images. There's a subfolder in here called Finished Stamp Projects. And so this was the group project, and then after the group project, you're asked to do your own project, and in this case the student chose Billie Eilish. So she did not meet the criteria of a person who is deceased, so it's strictly speaking not meeting the needs of the Postal Service, but she asked my permission and I said fine, go ahead. So there you have it. Okay. So 2 projects, a group project and an individual project. It can be black and white or color, but the format needs to be the same. In other words, have all horizontal or all vertical. The legibility of the text is key. The structure of the text meeting the margin guidelines, and consistency. So let's go back. Now, the major project of the semester is going to be the poster project, and there's a lot of background study to do at the Carnegie Mellon site, which is linked from the syllabus. And the warm-up exercises teaches you about structure, type as design, and how to design this at high resolution. We learned about, so this is the student's copy, sightlines, margins, bold, narrow text, serif, sans serif. This is sans serif Arial. And the way this is structured in a square grid is very much to the heart of what Swiss design is all about. There's also a hierarchy of information, meaning Emil Reuter is first and foremost with Arial Black, which is the boldest form of it, followed by the name of the show, which is teaching and typography. and then the location, which is the essential information of where it is and when it is. Up here is the third part of the hierarchy. And notice the sightline continues along here. This was the original. So this one was done at high resolution. It's 240 dpi at 17 wide by, 12 wide by 17 tall. So we want to do at least 3 copies of posters. In this case, there are 4, taken from the Carnegie Mellon site, and to be redone at high resolution. Okay, this one is the Opera Medea at the Opera House of Zurich. Notice the umlaut over the U and how to make that happen. Notice the sight lines, the columns of text again, and that typography itself is the design. There's no photograph accompanying this. So learning to structure type in a design way, to vary the weight, the size, the leading, the kerning, all that comes into play. And the best way I know of learning that is to copy a good example. This one was using the pen tool to create these shapes, and this was a jazz poster. Here was the original, and this was the copy. How to use the pen tool, how to use the eyedropper tool to pick up the exact colors. Okay, again, it's done at high resolution. It's at least 36 megabyte size file. And this one is also the other copy. Let's see if that was the original, and this is the high-res copy of it. Again, kerning comes into play, leading, that is the distance between lines. Picking out color scheme, working with layers, getting everything aligned carefully. Detail orientation, this would be a serif font, and how would we match that looking through your font database. So, and then finally, you need to do your own personal poster that relates to what you learned about working with the Swiss posters. This mostly hits it. It's not as strong as I had hoped, but it mostly gets to the point. We do have contact information. We have a hierarchy of information. She worked with type as design without working with images. The design is a little bit scattered in the structure, the way this is floating in the middle. There's no margin here at the bottom that should be probably aligned with the margin that was established on the left and right side. So let's continue on here. CD cover. So 2 CD covers were done by the student. We did a group demonstration together, and then a personal project. I think as a group we did Billie Eilish, and there's 2 separate documents that are important. There's back of the CD jewel case, which has 2 spines that fold up. You can see left and right, and they're 1/4 inch wide. The specs are linked from the syllabus. There's a playlist. There's a color scheme that works with the front cover. There's boilerplate. There's a logo of the record label and a barcode, a music barcode. The front cover has a fold in it, so it's a perfect square, and when folded becomes the inside of the front cover that when you open a jewel case, and it also needs a playlist. So you're taking an existing album and doing a complete redesign. You can use Amazon to find all the information about playlists, titles, and so on. This also has to be done in high resolution, minimum 240 dots per inch, again following the specs in the link from the syllabus. Okay, and then her own personal album was ZA, S-Z-A. This would be the back, and notice that she missed a few things. Oh no, I see them. It's not reading correctly, but this would be her spine, which is all white. Playlist, boilerplate, record label logos, barcode. And let's see, the front cover is here. So again, there's a fold down the middle. This is the front of the cover, and the inside of the front cover has a playlist again, and she included a photograph of the artist. Okay, parental advisory was also put there. Okay, 2 projects. The group project and then the personal project. Finally, we did a book cover. Again, you want to do multiple versions. We did a group project and then a personal project. And she did a few of them. Let's see. So the 100, which was a TV series, there was also a book. And the book has a front cover, a 1-inch spine, and a back cover. And the specs, again, should be done, are listed on the syllabus, and should be done in 240 DPI. This was some backup information she was taking off the web for what the logos, for what the 100 looked like. Here's another variation. So we have variations on the book here. And getting the spine to work. Okay. Here's some more backup, collected research, collecting information to see the look, even though you're doing a redesign. What is the movie, how does the book look, working with the logo that originally they used rather than redesigning it. Another project was To Kill a Mockingbird, so this was research. This was the real book in print. I think it's the paperback version. And that was a real book in print. And then this is her version, using some of those elements of the bird, and how this is laid out. This was an excellent version here. It's all very legible, and one was the PSD and the other is the JPEG. Always posting your PSD is important so I can see the layers and see more details about the process. Okay, so that was just one student, but this is what an A portfolio looks like. Let's go back. There are a couple of little sub-projects too that we did as in-class exercises. On day 1, just to introduce Photoshop. This isn't very wonderful, but we introduced idea of layers, selections, the elliptical and the round marquee, the square marquee, picking out colors, gradients, and so on. And later we did an in-class exercise of how to download fonts from DaFont, install it in Photoshop, and create a custom logo, in this case the Lord of the Rings. We worked with grunge textures and solid fills in the background, and also a rendered filter called in lighting effects. I think it's called lens flare, right? Okay. So these are all the elements that go into a Graphic 1 portfolio, and so things are done in multiple. I need to see research elements. It's a good idea to put each project in its own subfolder, and that's pretty much it. Please email me with any questions. Have fun. Bye.